Oh, I went out of order. 2020 was shitty. No one's gonna deny that. But it did finally give me a chance to do what I've always wanted to do since at least 2013, which is make videos. It also gave me an overabundance of time on my hands, which I did not always use so well. I did plan to sew much more than I did last year. However, I did actually sew more than I ever have in a year's time, which is significant, I think, being that I've been crafting for several years now, and I used to cosplay a little bit, very casually. While most of the items that I made last year are actually more like normal.
You call that normal?
Casual, whatever. Clothing more than historical costumes, which is what I intended to work on last year because I had intended to go to costume college for my first time. I've been going to the San Francisco Dickens Fair for the past like almost 15 years with my best friend every single year in December. This last year was the first time I've missed it in that time. Very sad about that as well, as missing out on Coco, although they did that beautiful Coco vid, like webinar kind of series on YouTube. It's not the same. I wanted to go meet everyone and, you know, show off costumes, which I haven't made, but I was going to make for Coco vid. So with my heart broken pretty early in the year about going to my favorite historical events, I decided instead of working on a bunch of historical costumes that I would work on my vintage wardrobe. More importantly, my glamour ghoul wardrobe. So that's what I did. So I've been trying to blend my love of vintage fashion and my love of the macabre, but I'm still kind of working on how I actually define that and how, you know, I want to present in that set of parameters of like doilies and bats and ghosts and skulls and all that kind of fun stuff. My other goal that I had last year, other than just in general sewing more, was to stop buying fast fashion and stop relying on fast fashion for my wardrobe. And that was kind of a big deal for me as someone who was a shopaholic who loved Forever 21.
Really, Quinn? Forever 21? I thought you'd have at least better taste than that.
Skeletina, don't be rude. You're gonna alienate our viewers.
I mean, you could have chosen some more sophisticated store like Zara or the Banana Republic.
Well, then I would have been lying. You know I couldn't afford those corporate trash Euro chic styles.
I'm pretty sure you just made that up. I mean, you're obviously reading off a script.
Back with our scheduled program. I wanted to go over what I made last year for myself. I'm going to try to avoid little small things like small objects that are non-clothing related, like bags or whatever, or gifts I made other people. I also had to take a lot of photos this year of those items because I'm horrible at actually documenting what I've made after I've made it. Okay, I'm gonna try to go chronologically here, but forgive me if I don't because it was kind of hard to find and remember everything I made in the shitstorm that was last year. So I remember the first thing I finished because I started it the previous year and just kept pushing it off. The first thing I finished was the 18th century American Duchess Stays. I want to say it's the 1780s, 1790s style rather than the earlier period because it's got the front and back lacing. And this came from one of their, I want to say, simplicity patterns. I'll put that number somewhere. I did the shift pattern with that as well. I made that out of linen. And then I did the false rump that they did for that pattern, although that false rump I think is not accurate because I have their books and their books have a very different looking false rump. But I made the one that was in the pattern because I just wanted to try making pretty much the entire pattern. I want to remake the stays as well, but I think I want to do an earlier period, or maybe I'll do the same ones, but I won't do the back lacing. And I want to make sure that I actually make it fit my proportions a little better and not be as like, I don't know, it felt like it was short in the bodice for my my waist or something like that. I'm not really sure. I need to learn a little bit more about fit to know what was going on with it. But I did do the binding in chamois leather. Well, it was a pain. It was really fun to learn, but it did take me forever, and that was kind of a new experience. It also made me learn how to use a thimble, which was a good thing to learn how to do, because now whenever I hand sew, I cannot hand sew comfortably without my thimble on. So I am thankful for that. The shift I enjoyed. I would have, in the future, if I make another one, I will do probably tinier stitches when I roll the neckline hem, because I did kind of wide stitches because at that point I was really done doing it. So just, you know, taking more time and more patience in the project. Oh, also, I actually made a petticoat for this, but when going through storage to grab all these items to take new photos, which I didn't for these, for my stays or shift, because I couldn't find my rump. So I can't show off my petticoat accurately the way I would like to. So that's just gonna have to wait till the future. The next thing I think I worked on, I'm gonna guess it was, I made two different, well, I made various versions of one of them, but I made two different Annika Victoria DIY tops. I did her cute tie top, and I did multiples of her peasant blouse top that she did, I think, a make thrift buy on. They were both very fun, very cute. Highly suggest those if you want a very quick, cute top. I do have a problem with the peasant blouse, which is just a problem I tend to have with peasant blouses, is they tend to look very strange upon my body. I don't know, something about them makes me look extra chunky. Not sure. I'm sure there's a way to make them so that they don't look funny like that, but I don't know how yet. So those I would do again, and I would spend a little bit more time finishing the seams, but they're really fun. I do want to make more of the tie top one, because that one's very cute. I don't have a good picture of it, and I couldn't find it in storage, because I know I put it in a mend pile somewhere. But I have a copy of this dress. It was actually my first iteration of this dress, which is a sew over it pattern called the vintage shirt dress, I believe. And I did it kind of modified because what I did is I had that cool simplicity fabric that has like all the panels of the ladies on it, because I saw Angela Clayton use it in one of her videos, and I was like, that's great fabric, I want to make something with that. And so I got some, and I made a kind of color blocked dress with it with this pattern. So I did the bodice piece in that blocked simplicity fabric. The collar was a contrast, kind of like this one, but it was navy blue. The skirt was navy blue, and then I did a ruffle edge with more of the blocked simplicity fabric. I learned a lot with my first time going through that pattern. This pattern, for some reason, I chose to do the sleeveless variation, which I didn't realize or read or whatever how to do the sleeve bindings. I was very confused by sleeve bindings. So the first and second one have really strange sleeve bindings where I bound the edge, but I didn't turn the edge under and sew down. So they have like weird gaping issues that just look very funny. So that one I wanted to fix some of the things I did with that one. I will say though, a fun piece on that you can't see in my photo as well is I did these cute little thread bobbin buttons for that simplicity dress that I made. The second dress I made of the same pattern is actually much cuter than the first. It is this Star Wars schematic print dress, and you can see that I did not turn under the binding and sew it down. It's still visible, which I mean, I wanted it to be kind of an accent, but I do need to go through and actually turn it under and sew it down, because it does have the weird arm gate, which you can see here, and it's not as bad as it is on the other ones. So the other thing I did is I actually added, I want to say 5 inches to the skirt of that dress, as well as the skirt of this dress, because I prefer longer skirts on my legs. Oh yes, the other thing I did to modify that pattern is I added pockets, because you always need pockets. That goes into this one, same deal, did a contrast. Although this one, I will say, I struggled because I was being lazy. Always my downfall. I did not put any interfacing in the collar, and I really need to unpick it and put interfacing in, because It's just hell without interfacing. But I do love this. I want to say it's Ruby Star or Cotton and Steel, but they're mummies. They're unraveling mummies. I love them. The next thing I made was this super cute butterfly blouse. It's the cutest cotton and steel cotton lawn with metallic on the butterflies that when I pre-washed did not wash off, so good job you guys on your fabric. It's beautiful. I don't think I've ever worked with cotton lawn before, but I definitely want to work with cotton lawn in the future, especially for shirts and blouses. Very lovely to work with. I made this blouse with a like vintage 1990s, late 80s puffy sleeve blouse pattern. I did kind of mess with the pattern. I think I added some more proof to the sleeve, and I also didn't do, which this was a huge mistake, I didn't do the cuff piece to it. It just kind of was like, I'll just make it just a sleeve with no cuff. Mistake. I should have done the cuff. I may go back in and do the cuff. We'll see. But it's very fun and very cute and very Western prairie look, which I love. Right after that one, I did a very cute pattern, and I can't remember the name of the company. It could have been Merchant and Mills, but I could be very wrong on that.
You are.
But I did this, it's called like the factory work dress. That's what it's called. It's called factory work dress. Very cute. I made it out of this kind of like jewel toned teal corduroy, and I did cute accent buttons that had like little embroidered sewing symbols on them. The back has this cute button clasp detail. Love it. Very cute. It had weird ways of doing the closures. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's also shorter than I would have liked. I should have thought about that when I was making it, but it was really early into the year and I was still like getting more and more comfortable with sewing. But I love the pockets in the front and the cross straps. I mean, I love a good pinafore dress. So that one's really fun. And then I made a matching blouse with this scissor print cotton fabric. It's really cute. I'm unhappy with this blouse because I was very sloppy with it. The sleeves don't end where I want them to. They were way longer than I wanted them to be. I wanted them to be cute little pippy sleeves up top, so that's something I need to fix. And the front ruffle is really wonky. One side's longer than the other, so that really needs to be fixed as well. And the collar, I don't know what happened to the pocket in the collar. This was early in the year. I'm still trying to understand weird fit things, and oof, oh boy. But I did use the same pattern that I used for the butterfly western prairie shirt, so it's also a vintage 90s pattern, whereas the pinafore dress is like a newer indie pattern. Because I have a bunch of leftovers of that corduroy, I made these shorts from their modified. It was modified from a pant pattern that I have. I'll show the pattern here, but they didn't fit when I made them. They were too loose, so I had to like do some darts to nip them in more. Now that I've gained some weight from quarantine, they fit like a glove. I think the next thing I made, it was this skirt here. And let me just say, if you like to dress and sew vintage, the first and best thing you should make is a simple black circle skirt. I get so much use out of this skirt. I love it. I made it out of, I want to say, a black poly twill, and it is the perfect weight. I love it. I wear it so often. But, you know, pockets into it. I think I self-drafted pattern. It might have actually just stole a circle skirt pattern from a vintage reproduction pattern that I already have, but it was really easy to literally just make a waistband with my waist measurement plus 2 inches, because that's how I always do waistbands. You know, the zipper is there. I was learning zippers this year. I hate zippers. Normally I refuse to do them, but this year I've been forcing myself to do zippers. Later in the year I made, in the summer I made this. This is a 1990s, early 90s pattern with a 80s fabric. And boy oh boy, was it interesting to make a princess seam dress with facings. I'm weird about facings, but I did it. But it's got that cute cross-section detail in the back. I think I did a really good job with this dress, actually. I remember like sitting down and being like, I'm gonna follow all of these directions. I'm gonna iron every seam, I'm gonna do it all. And let me tell you, you definitely should be using an iron while you're sewing. I know. I hate it too. I really do. I hate it. It's the bane of my existence. But your results end up so nice when you do it. Around Halloween time, I made that cute retro candy corn witch dress. It was a halter. I know there were some fit issues with it that could be totally fixed if I ruched the back panels. I need to relearn how to ruche. I did it several years ago when I was into cosplay. Have not done it since. So I want to add that to a lot of my garments. If you haven't seen that video, link is down below. The other video I did was the spiderweb apron. That one is also linked down below. I love that one. I actually really want to make a pinafore dress like that. This one I made towards the end of the year as well. This one is I want to say either Butterick Retro or Simplicity Repro pattern of a vintage pattern. Instead of going for a peppy 50s floral, I went for a spiderweb gothic floral with black accents, of course. And I love this dress. I also, of course, added pockets because I always add pockets to my skirts if I can help it. Earlier in the year, I wasn't really thinking about that, but now every time I make any skirt, pockets. I love this dress. It fits great. Very cute. My only issue is that I have to wear a certain kind of bra with it because the straps show in the back. But whatever. I probably could pin them to the straps and not have them show. It really depends on what kind of pet peeves you have with that. And then of course I made my Halloween costume. I also did a whole video on that, so watch that one as well. Where I was Edith Cushing from Crimson Peak. That one was a lot of fun. I've had that pattern for years and I've always wanted to do it. So I finally did. Looking forward to the future when I can wear that to conventions because Edith is bae. I want to make all her wardrobe, all of it, and just wear it. I think that's everything. Can't think of anything else.
Isn't there something you're forgetting?
You're right. I have forgot an outfit. So this I actually sewed pretty early in the year. It's kind of very tight now, and the zipper is sewed horribly. This was one of the first pieces I was really learning how to do a zipper on, and oof, I need to resew the zipper on. And this blouse, since I made it, have not worn it. But the neckline of the dress goes pretty indecently low. So yes, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this top or try to rework it or what I will do. It's very cute. I love this fabric because the stars on it have little faces and some of them are angry stars. Anyway, the skirt is also one of my favorites. However, I did not sew pockets, so it's really hard to wear. So that's another thing I need to modify about it, or just maybe entirely remake it to fit me. We'll see. And those are pretty much everything that I sewed for myself last year. That's not including, obviously, all the things that are in the UFO boxes or mend pile, but that's pretty much everything I made. I want to set some goals for this year, 2021, and some of those I would really like to, hone my skills more, maybe try different methods of hemming my skirts other than the triple fold and just sew down method that I've been doing. I would like to get more comfortable with facings and things of that nature, and using more interfacing and ironing. But I also would really like to get more into historical sewing again and do a lot more of that. I do have the works. I do have a couple video series planned. One of them being kind of a more creepy, macabre, historical costume for the 18th century, and accessories in accoutrements that go along with it to be in the same macabre style. I would also like to do lingerie for myself. I would like to make myself some undergarments. I'm forever in the search of a comfortable, supportive bra. So there's those as well. I do have a series planned for that, and that would be a Glamour Ghoul sewing accessory lingerie series, so look forward to that. That will be coming. Hope you like peignoirs and hair wraps and things of that nature, because I will totally be planning on doing some of those, and some house coats and all kinds of cute stuff. Obviously I'm going to be making my birthday dress, so that'll be fun. I do want to make some more fun, weird things. I do have plans for weird things. Sewing wise, you'll see. And I think that'll do it for today. See you guys next time. Thank you for watching.